What up? It's Kettle Hut, and welcome back. Yes, back to what? Another Alex video. This is not actually Alex. This is going to be a quick introduction to spheres. So I'm not sure, surface area, I should say. I'm not sure how the other people are going to be doing it, whoever is making the lesson for this one, but this is surface area of spheres. So similar to what we've seen before, volume of a sphere is just a formula. You plug it in and chug it and go. So same thing with surface area of a sphere. You just need to do the formula and go. In our case, surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared. Some of you might recognize that as the derivative of the volume formula. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Here's the formula on the screen, 4 pi r squared. So given a sphere, as long as you can figure out the radius, you can figure out the surface area. And just like before, surface area is going to be the total area of this ball all the way on the outside. So if I were to take a ball and I want to cover it or paint it or something like that, how much square footage or square yardage or square area would need so I could cover this whole thing. So looking at this, again, it's 4 pi r squared. That means Desmos can be a really friendly friend here. For Desmos, you could, does Desmos? It does. Okay, so even better. Open your Desmos tab, type in 4, type in the letter pi, it automatically changes it to pi, open a parentheses, and then close the parentheses, and then do shift 6 squared. So now there's your 4 pi r squared. Now all you got to do is whatever the problem is, put in your radius, and you can see it'll automatically give you everything you need. So you don't even have to do math. And again, this is the cheese way through it. So find the surface area of each sphere below. Here's our sphere. They give you the radius already is 2.8. It really is just plugging it in here, and now you see 98.5. Depending on what you want to round it to, you can do whatever you want to do for that. It is surface area, so it'll always be square units, and you're done. The other thing to point out here, this is going to be the diameter in this one. The diameter is 24. That means the radius is going to be half of that, yes, which is 12. So we don't even have to write a new one. You can just literally erase this, change it to 12, 1809. Try and do it with the mouse. Oh, it's not working. 1809.56. So whatever you need to round it to, this one's millimeters, units are still squared. This is cheese. That's the easiest way to do it. If you want to do it the long way, you should probably do something like this. Let's see, clear page. What you should do if you want to do it the long way, you should do 4 times 3.14 for pi times the radius is 12 and square that. Now keep in mind this number when you type this in, you're going to do 4 times 3.14, then 12 squared. 12 times 12 is 144, so multiply that by 144, and you get 1808.64. Realize that 1808 is only different because we used 3.14 to show you the difference, how big of a difference there is. Pi is 3.14159.265, so on and so forth. So we're cutting out a lot of this when we do 3.14. So this is cheese. Maybe we should amend the slides here. I click introduction to cheese. Right? Cheese it, do it, love it. Now this is the one that's going to throw people off. We know the formula for this is, in fact, 4 pi r squared. And you're looking at this, and you're saying, so this is half of a sphere. So you should be able to divide this in half, and then you would get 2 pi r squared. I would agree, right? But surface area, if we cut this ball in half, which is exactly what we have on the screen, that means you got to think about when you cut it in half, you're still going to have this circle. think about the flat part of the ball, there's still going to be this circle that you can touch and feel, i.e. on the surface. So you have to, half of the ball is 2 pi r squared, I agree. If you were to cut this ball in half, this upper half of the sphere would be 2 pi r squared. But adding to that, this circle, so how do you add that circle to it? Well, what's the area of a circle? Pi r squared. So if you have 2 pi r squared and you have to add to that pi r squared, 2 pi r squared plus pi r squared, it's the same thing as doing 2x plus x, you get 3x. So you get 3 pi r squared. And if you look at the area of a hemisphere, surface area of a hemisphere, it is 3 pi r squared. So if you want to remember, because again, and this picture illustrates it really well, you have to count the area of this circle on top, and the area of a circle is pi r squared. So this is the surface area for a hemisphere, 3 pi r squared. So to use that, do the same thing, 3 pi, open, close parentheses, shift 6, 2. So there's your 3 pi r squared. Then you just put in the radius, which our radius for this problem was 5. Oops, I typed it in the wrong spot. So plug it in 5, and there you go. This answer would be 235. So there you go, quick introduction to surface area of spheres. Just use the formula. If you want to cheese it, just plug it right into Desmos. I mean, it's not much different than just typing it into your phone. Honestly, Desmos will give you a more accurate answer faster. Be careful when you're doing Alex. More than likely, they are going to make you use 3.14. So you can use Desmos to check your answers. You should get something, within, yeah, I would say 10 or less with our numbers, maybe even 5 or less. As we saw, we got 1808, and this one was 1809. So use this Desmos to check your answers, but when you type it in, use your phone calculator, use your TI Inspire, TI 84s, whatever you got. Type it in 3.14 times so on. Round it to whatever it tells you to round it to, and you'll be good. The only last thing is they might say leave it in terms of pi. And if they say leave it in terms of pi, that means you'll have to do something like, for example, this one right here, 4 pi 12 squared. You would just multiply everything except the 4. So we can even do it right in decimals. So looking at the first one, if we were to leave the first one in terms of pi, I would do everything but the pi. So 12 times 12, which is our 12 squared, that's 144. Multiply that by 4 in front, and you get 576. So your final answer that you would type into Desmos, or excuse me, you would type into Alex would be this right here. Notice this 576 pi highlighted is what you would type into Alex. It matches when you do the decimal equivalent. So this is the answer in terms of pi. I think that's it for this video. See you next time. Thank you for watching.